I know it's been 9 months, but I don't give a fuck. What? Hey guys, Div here. Did you miss me? No? Oh, okay. This is the final installment to my 3-part series of my V-Dualie's Guide. Today, we're going to be talking about the most complex topic to navigate as a V-Dualie main, awareness. I have 3 concepts to help build a strong foundation to your awareness. Do keep in mind that they are easy to understand in theory, but may be difficult to implement into your gameplay. It will take time, but do know that with patience and hard work, you'll be able to master these concepts. With that being said, let's get into the first concept. Stalking. Okay, wait. Let me explain. When playing an aggressive weapon in this game, many find themselves accelerating really hard, meaning that when one plays so fast, they become prone to skipping steps, such as clearing out main areas of the map, not killing off a person, etc. Dualies are no stranger to this habit. It's a gun that once it commits, it must follow through, whether that means it dies or lives. This, alongside our gun's high mobility, makes it really easy to find yourself running into a group of enemies. This is where a lot of people find themselves tilting regarding this weapon. They believe that they have no one with them when they're taking a fight, but in reality, they're running into enemy territory while the rest of their teammates are focusing on more critical items, maybe like painting up on a map, getting specials, and more. Stalking refers to gaining information about the game state, such as enemy positioning, specials, and more. When we stalk, we can do up subconscious actions such as painting or tossing bombs, but a good way to start this habit is to just sit in ink and observe what's going on around you before making a committal decision. While you're stalking, make sure to take note of positionings. Where is the enemy standing? Where are your teammates standing? Numbers. How many people are up on your team versus how many people are up on the enemy team? And most importantly, specials. Who has what specials? Of course, this isn't the answer to all of your problems. When you stalk, the information you gain must be processed through offensive and defensive game states. This is where processing information comes into play. This section of the video is the most complex part of building awareness. It is pretty simple in concept, but tricky to implement into your gameplay habits. When we gain information, it can be overwhelming to know what to do with that information. I can compress this process into a simple checklist for offense and defense, and as you continue to run through it, you will begin to respond to similar situations with the same factors faster and quicker. The first thing you want to ask yourself after processing this information is, what do I do with this information? No, I'm playing. Let's talk defense first. Some questions you want to ask yourself once you've gained your information is, where is the enemy team not positioned? Where are they not looking? This will help you find the gaps in the enemy's defense, which leads into, how can I exploit this gap? Are they tunnel visioning on a certain part of the map? Do they have a weapon that's susceptible to rush down that's holding down an area by itself? Or can you just simply out-mechanic if you can take a fight? Maybe you'd want to build specials before pushing in to get a pick. Play in said area that is not being watched, calling for a teammate to pair up, bombing where the enemy is positioned, or even drawing aggro to let your teammates play off of it. As you can tell, this has infinite possibilities because so many situations can happen. But I would say that this is the basic foundation to understanding how to make impactful decisions when you're playing defense. But what about offense? Here are some things to think about. 1. Where would the enemy want to be positioned? Is it high ground? Is it under a ledge? And 2. How can I stop them from getting said area without a full-blown fight? The goal while you're playing offense is to ensure that the enemy team is not freely running into areas that allows them to retake the objective. Instead of tossing bombs in random areas, plant them in key spots that you know people would want to stand and pop their specials in. Put specials behind the enemy so that you can push into their plat and force them to fight. A good way to figure out what state you're in during the game is quickly taking a look at the HUD or the heads-up display. This will give you big indications as to who's in the advantage, who's in the disadvantage, who's ready to push, and who's not ready to push. Again, I watered this down to the most simplistic form possible. Of course, there are so many more things that go into this, but this is a really good way to start implementing good decision-making skills. If you have any questions, feel free to put them in the comment section down below or contact me on Discord for your inquiry. Now that you're beginning to understand how to gain a better awareness, it's time to cover the last tip of this video, versatility. When someone says that a weapon is versatile, they're referring to how flexible a weapon is to switch roles. Whether it's being from support to aggro or anchor, V-Dualies is no stranger to this concept. Now, it can be tricky to identify a playstyle suitable for V-Dualies. You have to take into account the weapons you're paired up with and the weapons you're playing against. Here are my general rules of thumbs. In defense, if the enemy has Splatlings, Chargers, or Stringers, I will have to use my kit to move them in order to gain area. If the enemy has AoE weapons such as blasters, rollers, and buckets, I will prioritize displacing them with bombs and abusing my good pain output to overwhelm them. If the enemy has weapons that like to draw aggro such as brellas, brushes, and dualies, I will ensure that they do not get behind us and try to give them too much information so that I can shark them out. When going against these weapons, it's essential to use map geometry to win your fights. Finally, if the enemy team has a shooter, I will ensure that I will waste their resources that could potentially have them win the fight against me, example splash wall, and outmaneuver them through my rolls and mobility. If I'm playing offense, and there is a Splatling, Charger, or Stringer, I will not play within their range and play on the opposite side of the map so they cannot get a chance to kill me. If the enemy team has AoE weapons like a blaster, roller, and bucket, I will prioritize painting and keeping tabs at what they are and where they like to position when they're in defense so I can cover it. If there are weapons that like to draw aggros like brellas, brushes, and dualies, I will ensure that they will not break through my team's offense by keeping tabs from when they come off of their spawn and keeping notes at where they like to flank and draw aggros and skirmish. Finally, if the enemy team has a shooter, I will simply ensure that they do not get to stand where they like to defend. Now these are all very generic, but should cover the basics of what you can expect in your normal session of X-Ranker series. Note that every player is unique and can tweak their playstyles, which in turn will have you respond to that by tweaking your playstyle. You'll find yourself playing a mix of the roles stated below, and that's just proof of V-Dualies putting in the work to being a versatile weapon. That's all for this video. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. I just want to thank you guys for being really patient during my absence. I've been competing and college and a whole bunch of other stuff, but I am organized and motivated to create content again. I plan to make a YouTube short series regarding some concepts that you may find benefit to, so stay tuned for that. So with that being said, take care, stay safe, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye!